Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, or whenever you're watching this. So this is the beginning of video number 3 on the Jack Carr sign, and we're thinking this will be the last one. We should be able to finish this up. So what we did, as you guys saw in the last video, we filled all the cracks with the black Starbond, and we hit it with the accelerator. Now I'm going to sand off the flat stuff first, everything outset. I'm going to sand that off first because I'm pretty much expecting to have to do a little bit more fill and then come back and sand it again. Then once these 3 parts are all flat, complete, they have the black in there, everything's ready to go, then I'm going to take the router and I'm going to go around all the spots where we might have to kind of clean up this stuff and then take the Fordham in here. So let's get going. Let's do this. Oh, as you guys can see, I already sanded off the back. So this is the look we're going for here, to have the black Starbond fill in these cracks and just kind of give it a different look, kind of an aggressive look. And I think that's going to look really, really cool on here. So what we're going to do, guys, one thing to remember when you're sanding Starbond, especially with the accelerator, is to wear a respirator, okay? Because this stuff is pretty nasty, and as you're sanding it, if you're not wearing, like I'm going to have my glasses on too, even though I generally don't when I'm sanding, but it'll burn your eyes and stuff, so you definitely want to wear a respirator because this stuff's pretty nasty when you sand it. And we're going to have a fan going to kind of get some airflow out here. So I think that's it. I think we're ready to go. I'm going to start off with the 60 degree on the disc sander. 60 grit, not degree. I'm thinking of router bits. Speaking of that, guys, if you're interested in any of the stuff we have, you can click the little thing right here, the card, and that'll take you to our website with all of our stuff, all of our sign carving supplies. So I'm going to put this thing on. Probably have to take my hat off. right, guys, so you can see the look we're going for, and it worked 90% of it, but we got a little bit of a hole right here. Okay, so I'm gonna have to refill that, and then I missed a couple that I didn't see here, here, and here, and maybe this one too. So I'm gonna do these off camera. Now these I'm not too concerned about. We got these here. We don't have to get every little one, but there's gonna be wording on this, and we wanna make sure when we spray that this stays flat. So these two are the most important to make sure and get every single crack. Maybe a little bit right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and touch these up and sand them off camera, and when we come back, we're gonna move on to the next step. Alright guys, so I did the rest of the fill, took a little bit, there was a couple small little holes, a couple little cracks that I missed, so we got that all knocked out. Can you see that, Dad? Mm-hmm. So we got that all done. So now, this is kind of the medium tricky part, and that's going to be to do, let's see if I can stand up, where we got these vertical cracks going in here. I'm going to try to feather this in without gouging these lines and still keep a straight line and get rid of the excess on here, here, and these different spots. And we're going to do that with a profile bit, and it's right at an 1/8 inch, and see if we can just kind of feather it in and make it look nice without gouging this thing. And if we do gouge it, I'll just have Dad fix it. Alright. Sorry for my hair, guys. Alright. So we'll put the respirator back on because it's, again, you're still cutting away. Hopefully they can hear me. You're still cutting away the Starbond. So you want to make sure and wear a respirator and glasses. Here we go. You want to shut the fan off, Jack? Please. Okay, so if you look in the handle right here, it's down in there. I don't think we're going to get much better than that, but I think that's still going to look good. And I had to widen this line up, so I came back, even though this didn't have any Starbond in there, I widened this up too, because I want these two to match. They don't necessarily have to match every line here, but these two, because they're two of the same thing, they've got to match. If you have a real thick line, then a real thin line, it's going to look pretty funky. So we got all of our edges done. Now we're gonna do this stuff in here. Never done that before, so let's see how it works. All right, guys, here we go. All right, so look, I think we got everything, and you know, it honestly, me and Dad were just talking about it, it cleaned up a lot better than I thought, and it just, I think it looks really, really cool.
Yeah, I think these places in here where you were able to clean that up with a Fordham, that just really has a cool look, having those black lines running through that background, extending from here clear into the background. I just think it looks really cool.
I do too. Yeah, I like it quite a bit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get off camera. I'm going to get ready. We're going to end up, or what we're going to do now is we're going to lay out the lettering, and you guys are going to see what it's going to say on the top and the bottom ribbon. And we got to be real careful because none of this is getting painted back here. This is all staying natural. The only thing we want to spray is the lettering. So we're going to have to be real careful on how we set that up. So stick with us. We'll be right back. Okay. So we got all the fill put in there. It's all sanded down. Now, as you guys can see, everything except for what we want to spray is taped, and that's because everything's going to be natural color except for the lines in the logo and the lettering. The lettering, when you have something at an arch, you really want to make sure that your lettering follows that arch, otherwise it's going to look funky, like the Jack Carr right here. And the space isn't in the middle, but it doesn't really matter because this, even though it's the same number of letters, this is a little bit longer than this. So that's not that big a deal. You want the space, you want it centered on the sign more than you do on the actual logo here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to spray this very, very carefully, because if I go too hard or too much, get too close, it's going to shoot these letters all over the place. And these things are hard to, especially with these fat fingers we got, these things are hard to get set up just right. So we're going to shake this up, and we're using the flat black primer, the Rust-Oleum right there. Make sure there's no bleeding. And we're just very carefully going to spray. And if I get some underneath the tape, it's not too big of a deal, because I'll just take the Fordham, just like I did with the what do you call it?
Starbond.
Yeah, the Starbond. And I'll clean it up. But I want to eliminate as much of that as possible. All right, now for the hard part.
What is that right there? Is that just a place you didn't tape?
Oh, yep.
It doesn't matter. You're going to be needing to sand it anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
That really doesn't matter.
All right. Oh, I missed. Oh, that eye moved a little bit.
Yes, it did.
I think it's going to be all right, though.
Yeah. You're developing pretty good touch with that spray can, right?
I'm getting better.
Yeah.
Getting better.
I remember the day where you'd have blowed those things all over.
Yeah, it's because I'd have gone like this. So now what we're going to do, we're going to let this dry for a second, and we're actually going to take all of this tape off, because I don't want to take a chance as I'm carving for the tape to hook on the base plate and mess up my carving. So it's a little bit time consuming, but this whole sign has been time consuming, but man, I really, really think it's going to be worth it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all this off, get the tape off. I'm going to get my profile bit that I'm going to carve the big letters with, and then I'm going to do the small letters, because these things are real thin, with the carving liner. So when we come back, we're going to get to carving. Alright guys, so now I'm going to use the profile bit, and I'm right at about an 1/8 inch. You know what, actually, I think I'm going to lift that up just a touch. I want to take this nice and slow, simply because there's not a whole lot of space to rest the base on. So I want to make sure that, and this is hard wood, I want to make sure I get my lines good and I don't mess it up. So let's get going. All right, guys, I'm not gonna lie, that was a little stressful, but I think it's coming out good. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the profile bit work off camera, and when I come back, we'll get started on the hard stuff. Okay, guys, so we finished up with the profile bit, carving the top ribbon, which says Jack Carr, obviously. So now we're gonna switch to the carving liner, and I'm gonna adjust my depth a little bit. This is gonna be a little bit tricky, but we're just gonna take it nice and slow and get going on it.
So I have a question, and you might or might not know this. We cut these. You cut these out on the laser. These letters. Do you remember the font? Somebody's gonna ask.
Oh.
We'll put it across the screen.
Yeah, we'll put the font across the screen because these are actually two different font. Or wait, no, they're the same font. I can't remember the name of it, but
they're kind of cool looking. I like them.
Yeah, I do too.
I really like that font.
We're gonna we'll put it across the screen.
Do you remember the font?
Do you remember the font of this, Mom?
We're gonna put it across the screen.
Yeah, we'll put it
guys.
across the screen because this is actually a cool font. I like it quite a bit.
All right.
All right.
Connoisseur, here we come.
Let's do it. Actually, I didn't even check this. Okay, we're good. Full battery. Here we go. Okay guys, so that's a little bit intimidating, because especially on the ends and the eye right there, there's no room either way. So there's not a whole lot of room for error, but it's coming out pretty good, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this up off camera, and then we're going to tape it all off, get everything clear, or spray it, and when we come back, we're going to sand this thing off and see the final product. Woohoo! All right. Okay, guys. Now it's time to sand this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over everything with a 60 on the disc sander. Then I'm going to do the 120 with the random orbital. And I'm also going to go over the edge, because we got a little bit right here. And we're just going to smooth this out a little bit, get any of the nasty stuff off there. I'm pretty excited, guys. I'm excited to see how this thing turns out. A little nervous still, but that's all right. All right, here we go. clear on it?
Well, it's up to you. I'd like to cover the bench.
Okay.
Let's do the reveal.
All right. So, Dad and I have been talking about this project for like 3 months. So let's see how it looks. You know, got a little black right there I got to get off. But man, I'm pretty happy with that.
That looks really cool. I can't wait to see a finish on it.
I know. All right, so we're going to come back. We're going to set the bench up to put a finish on it, and I'm going to clean that piece up. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, so we're going to put the first coat of clear on it. Let's see how it looks. Oh, you know what? I don't even think I got down here.
Very cool.
I think that's...
Look how cool that is.
I think that's pretty mean looking.
See all that contours in there? Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's soaking in, so it's not going to stay this dark, correct? Or is it going to stay...
No, it'll stay dark.
It'll stay
There's
dark.
no doubt
Okay.
it'll stay dark, but what will happen is it'll build up, then it'll get shiny.
Okay, all right.
So it's everything is soaking in like a sponge right now.
Yeah.
But it'll end up being real shiny.
Oh, man, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
I'm pretty stinking happy with that.
That looks fantastic.
So, guys, when we come back, over the next, couple days probably, we're going to put 15, 20 clear coats on this thing, and we're just going to make this thing shine. So, excuse me, sorry, burped a little bit. So, when we come back, you guys are going to see the finished product, and we're going to close it up. All right, guys, it's done. She's done. We did some new stuff on it, obviously, some new texturing. We did the deep gouging around all the outset stuff. So let me kind of get a little bit of an angle here so you guys can see it.
Yeah, that's good.
And I gotta say, I'm just super stoked with the way this came out. I think adding the black Starbond into all the cracks that were in there, because there was a lot. You know, I think adding that black Starbond gave it a bit of a meaner look, real aggressive. This whole thing just looks like it was carved with a knife in a cave somewhere, and that's exactly what I was going for. So, we appreciate you guys watching. Jack, if you do see this, you know, I'm going to try to send you some messages and stuff and see if I can get this to you, man. But again, guys, if you like books, if you like political thrillers, if you like guns and gear and all that stuff, like I do, Jack Carr's books, The Terminalist, man, they're freaking awesome. Terminalist, True Believer, Savage Son, The Devil's Hand, and In the Blood, which is coming out soon. Again, this is not a paid sponsor, paid promotion or anything. I'm just a huge fan of Jack Carr. I'm a huge fan of his books, and man, if I do get to give him this sign, I hope he likes it. I'm stoked with the way it came out. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for following along on this project. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, click the bell icon, all that stuff. You guys know what to do. If you have any questions, you can email me, Ryan with Dave Signs at gmail.com, and that's 1S, Dave Signs. Or you can email Dad, Eric at makeawoodsign.com. Make a Wood Sign, that's the website to get all our sign making products. So thank you guys so much, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.